Hi everyone, welcome to Novel Visions. Let's face it, you can spend an hour or more looking for something to watch, depending on how many subscriptions you have, and still not find anything. On this channel, we talk about great books and stories that would be perfect to be put on screen. Now, of course, we must acknowledge that a lot can happen between that original source material and what ends up on screen. The extent to which something's a faithful adaptation, whether the changes that are made add or detract from the story, the actors, the director, the editors, everything that goes into the actual making of a show or movie could go very, very wrong. I'm looking at you, Golden Compass. But for now, let's suspend our snark and imagine the possibilities of seeing really great writing come to screen. Joe Hill, if you didn't already know, has literary prestige in his bones. He's one of Stephen King's kids, but he's had his own share of commercial success. He's had novels and short stories and comic books published. Nosferatu and Lock and Key are two shows that have been adapted from his work. The movie Horns, which features everyone's favorite wizard Daniel Radcliffe, was based on his novel. Recently, in 2021, the movie The Black Phone was released and was based on a short story in Hill's 20th Century Ghosts. This movie, of course, features 90s crush Ethan Hawke as the masked bad guy, the Grabber, but which will be forever seared into my brain from that one scene where buff Daddy Hawk is shirtless in his mask sitting in the kitchen. Okay, anyway, that is not the story that we're going to talk about today, but rather another short story in 20th Century Ghosts, which is, in my opinion, one of the best in that collection, Voluntary Committal. This is a story about Nolan Lerner and his brother Morris. The story cuts from an adult, present-day Nolan to a time when he was in high school in the late 70s. Morris is his younger brother, and they don't definitively give Morris a diagnosis. You know, he's schizophrenic, he's autistic, he's neurodivergent. Morris is really gifted with creating intricate structures. His first creations were made out of paper cups, and then he moved to creating things out of boxes, magnificent forts with incredible detail. Nolan befriends Eddie Pryor, who is a school bully with a horrible home life. And one day they're on an overpass and Eddie's throwing rocks at passing cars. And Eddie makes Nolan throw a rock at a car and it hits the car, which causes the car to crash. The windshield is lost. A woman is injured. She jumps out, runs to the back seat, screaming about her child. After that, Eddie becomes paranoid and threatens that if Nolan says anything, that Eddie is going to kill himself. Well, one day Morris overhears them and Eddie sees that they're being overheard. So Eddie switches that to he's going to kill Morris if anyone says anything. Morris decides to help his brother break free from Eddie by building a fort made of boxes. And one day Eddie crawls into the structure and is never seen again. Morris, a few years later, ends up voluntarily committing himself to a mental health center. And then eventually Morris starts building his forts again, and then one day just completely disappears. 3 reasons why I think this would work on screen. Number 1 is the brothers' relationship. So this is a story where the person who would normally be marginalized and othered because of his mental illness very intentionally sets out to save his older brother from the big bad bully. And then although they're assumed to be white in the book, I think the story would be better if Nolan and Morris were played by members of the BIPOC community. But that is absolutely just my own opinion. Number 2 is magical realism. No surprise that Joe Hill's work is just like his father's and features magical and supernatural aspects. Where does Morris's ability come from? Is it genetic? Is it because of his mental illness that maybe he's able to tap into a cosmic plane the rest of us don't have access to? And then along that same line is number 3, the mystery. There are a lot of questions we don't get answers to. Who or what was in that fort? What was it about the song, The Ants Go Marching In? Is there something devilish or sinister at play? I actually read that in 2021, this was slated to become a show on Paramount TV, but who knows if this has been placed on hold indefinitely or if they're going to start filming sometime soon. Let me know in the comments below if you liked Voluntary Committal, or maybe there was another short story by Joe Hill that you think would be better to be put on screen. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time, bye.